good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Armstrong coming a little late today with the Tuesday tips. However, I'm glad to be here with you and to get the commercial out the way. If you are finding these videos to be beneficial to you, please like, subscribe, and share these great tips and conversations with your friends and loved ones. Today, we're going to discuss a little bit about healing from trauma. Okay? Healing from trauma. 9 times out of 10, most people who are in some type of emotional and mental distress, there is some type of trauma-related incident that has sparred that to happen. Okay? And we find that one of the major ways to heal from your trauma is to, number one, be as expressive as one can be. Be as expressive as one can be. While healing from trauma, it is very, let's just face the facts. It's hard. And everybody's reaction and resilience and healing mechanism to trauma is not the same. Okay? One may ask, well, if you're healing from trauma, what steps do you take? What I'm going to share with you today are pretty much basic steps to take to heal from trauma and to heal from the traumatic event or incident of your lives. Now, a person going through trauma, and here's the thing about emotional trauma, spiritual trauma, and mental trauma. The thing that hurts the most is the fact that people can be going through a traumatic event and none of the symptoms show up on the outside. None of them show up on the outside. That's why we have to be careful with people. That's why we have to be careful with how we interact and deal with people, because we don't know what a person may be going through on the inside. We don't know. Therefore, it behooves us to treat people kind. We can't treat everybody the same. No, just can't do it. But we can treat everybody right. And I think that's where a lot of times there is a misconception, and that misconception is I have to treat everybody the same no matter what. No, you can't, because everybody is different. We have to treat people right. Okay? So I want to go through a few things here with you. Handy dandy tablet in hand here. And, people are about to embark on a major event in their lifetime, which is this transition of president from the outgoing president, who I refuse to call name, to President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. We've been through some traumatizing 4 years. It's been a traumatizing 4 years for people of color, for immigrant parents, for the disabled, for people of different gender identity. It's been very traumatizing. And that the insightfulness and the incendiary encouragement has come from the outgoing president. Luckily, hopefully, We have a new day coming. All right. But with that said, folks, let's go through some of these tips today on how to handle and deal with the trauma that you may be faced with. Minimize, number one, and this is when people are traumatized, they have a social anxiety. But one of the best ways to get beyond that social anxiety and isolation is to minimize isolation. Connect with other people. Connect with other people who have a similar story. Connect with other people who have gone through traumatic events themselves. Just connect with people, okay? And while connecting with people, you can tell your story. So let's learn to do that. Connect. Have a connection with somebody, okay? Seek support while connecting. When you're in that connection phase, seek out support, okay? Because that support is what's going to help you the most in recovering and healing from those traumatic events, okay? Participate in social activities, even if you don't feel like it. We get into a phase where people tend to be isolated, and whereas they had a sociability, they tend to withdraw, and isolate. You have to push yourself to get back out there. Remember this, no one knows you're hurt unless you tell them. No one knows, okay? Let's get back social. Let's get back active. Come out of that little bubble that is not protecting you, but is hurting you more and more. Come out of that bubble, okay? Here's a big one. Minimize self-blame and judgment. Minimize the self-blame and judgment. If there is a person listening to this and unfortunately you were the victim of molestation at an early age, you can't take the blame for that. You're an innocent child. Don't take the blame. Don't associate blame. Minimize the judgment on yourself, because you were the innocent party in what happened to you. Okay? So minimize the blame. Minimize the blame. And then practice self-compassion. Self-compassion. Have compassion for yourself. Look, nobody's telling you that hey, just forget about it. I've established a certain little affirmation. A lot of people say, hey, let things go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Or get over it. Get over it. Get over it. Those are two different things. Getting over something and letting something go are two different things. The latter, the former, getting over something, you can't just get over being traumatized. It just doesn't happen that way. However, letting go means to let go of the guilt, let go of the blame on yourself, letting go and inviting forgiveness in, so that you're not harboring this evil act of traumatizing the traumatic event that happened to you. Forgiveness plays a major role in your healing journey. Learn to let go so that forgiveness can come in. Let go of those emotions of, if I would have done this, this wouldn't have happened. You're not to blame. You're not to blame. I got to make it quick. Work on staying grounded in the here and now. Your traumatic event that has happened is in the past. And guess what? You're still here. You survived it. And you're functioning. All while there may be some hiccups and some hangups along the way, you are functioning. Stay in the here and now. You have to take healing one day at a time. If you don't take that healing one day at a time and you just try to push yourself and push yourself and push yourself, you're not going to heal all the way. It's almost like picking the scab off again. Let's not do that. Take your healing one day at a time, but stay grounded. Every day is not going to be the same. Learn to accept that. But the attitude and the spirit and the emotion in which you go into your day, when you wake up in the morning, if you wake up with that negative thought, it's going to be a bad day. Guess what? 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a bad day. If you wake up with a positive mind, I'm not going to let my past dictate today. Guess what? You're going to have a good day. All right. And last but not least, seek a professional. Seek a professional. Someone that can help you get through that traumatic event. And lastly, and I'm going to always believe in this, never, ever, ever, ever put God last. Keep God first in your life. If you have to wake up in the morning and pray and meditate, do that. If you have to go to bed praying and meditating, do that. If you have to say a prayer throughout the day, do that. God is a healer. There is a healing balm from all our troubles. He can wash them away. I'm a firm believer in that. And I'm not saying that, just praying things away is what's going to happen. But prayer along with professional help, there's nothing wrong. I used to post this years ago with having Jesus and a therapist too. You can have the both. If Jesus had a physician on his staff, the Apostle Luke, who was known as the beloved physician, guess what? You could have one in your life too. If you have the preacher for the soul, there's nothing wrong with having the therapist for the mind. If you have a doctor for the physical body, there's nothing wrong with having a therapist for the mind. We are a triune person. We are mind, body, and soul. And every aspect of us needs some type of encouragement, nurturing, and at times healing. And you can have that. Listen, folks, thank you very much for today. If I seemed a little fatigued today, it's because I ate lunch at the House of Prayer. I'm a proud member of the United House of Prayer, and our cafeteria is open all the time. So that's why the doc may be a little bit tired. It's the House of Prayer lunch. However, I wanted to come on and make sure that this video got posted today. Thank you, folks. Have a great day.